The turkey sandwich from hell. This has an insanely good vodka cranberry sauce, stuffing, and even fried turkey breast. This is perfect for Thanksgiving time if you want something a little bit different. And let's not forget, it's gonna have a nice spicy sauce that we're gonna toss it into. So, without further ado, people, let's make this shit. All right, so we talked about this turkey sandwich from hell. This one is gonna be very damn good. I was gonna make it last year. I decided to wait a little bit till we got our subscriber count up. And I also wasn't really happy with the recipe overall last year. I'm happy with this one, for sure. And it is gonna be so damn good. So strap in, watch to the end of the video, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you wanna do. Tell me I suck, I don't give a crap. But without further ado, people, let's make this shit. Stay tuned. Okay, so to kick things off, into a pot, I'm gonna add some avocado oil, and then I'm gonna have this at medium heat, drop in our jelly cranberry sauce that's from a can, and go ahead and break it up a little bit, reduce the heat a little bit for now to like maybe medium to low, and then as I'm breaking it up, I'm gonna start adding in some more element. So I'm gonna add in about a quarter cup of some vodka here, and then I'm gonna bring this up to a boil because we wanna boil off that alcohol. And then I'm gonna start working in some more ingredients, which is gonna be just a splash of apple cider vinegar, and then about a tablespoon of some Herbes de Provence. And then I'm just gonna give this a mix. Also, black pepper, of course, about 2 to 3 tablespoons of that. Give this a mix and let it reduce. Now, we're gonna work on the stuffing. So I've got some carrots here, which I'm gonna go ahead and dice up. And team that with some onions and celery that have been diced. Then I'm gonna go ahead and take some bread here. I've got some sourdough or some bread here. Yeah, you can use whatever kind you want. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut it into cubes. Then I'm gonna go ahead and start working our sausage. So I've got hot Italian sausage here, which I am going to go ahead and sear up in a pan. Gonna break it up real fine. Make sure it's nice and fine. So break it up throughout the process and get a nice sear on this before we remove it and add in our veggies. Now we're gonna keep the same pan with some of that gristle in there from the sausage, drop in about a tablespoon of butter, and then all of our veggies here. This is about medium heat, and I just wanna sweat these down, saute them just a little bit. They're gonna finish in the oven, but salt and pepper, of course, to taste. This is kosher salt and fresh ground black pepper. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add in about 6 cloves of garlic, which I'm gonna mince. Give this a nice mix while it's cooking at about medium to low heat. And then I'm gonna remove that from the pan, add in some oil to the pan, and then drop in a little bit of butter so the butter doesn't burn in that oil. And then we're gonna start, we're gonna go ahead and work our croutons here. Well, it's really our bread. So not really croutons, but they're kind of getting to that crouton-esque angle. So I'm gonna go ahead and heat up that butter, drop in our cubes of bread, and then let these get a little brown on their sides, and then we're gonna finish them in the oven. So the oven is heating to about 350 degrees. I'm gonna add in our sausage and our vegetables here and just slowly add in some broth. I'm just adding broth slowly in increments, and I'm using beef broth, by the way. So you want to get about, I would say, maybe half a cup of broth total in this. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit more here, and then very soon we're just gonna go ahead and drop it in the oven, and we're gonna put it in the oven for I would say, you know, about 10-15 minutes max. You want to keep an eye on it, stir it around, make sure everything gets nice and brown. Now to work on our batter. So I've got a beer here, and I'm going to go ahead and add it. I'm using you can use any type of brown beer, like a porter or whatever you want to use. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in some flour. Now I like to eyeball my dredge. So that's about 2 cups of flour, about a cup of beer. And then I'm going to add in some black pepper, about 2 tablespoons of that. And then just add a little bit more beer here. And then I'm going to go ahead and start whisking this up. You'll notice that it's getting really, really thick. That's okay. I like to do an eyeball approach with my dredge, just because it's a lot easier that way for me. I want to get it to the consistency that I want it at. So right there, it's about at the nice creamy consistency that I want. I'm going to add in some more flour to a separate
receptacle. And then these are my turkey breasts, which have been brining in pickle juice overnight. Then I'm going to coat them completely in that wet dredge there, and then I'll drop them in the flour afterwards, making sure all sides are fully covered with that flour as well. Once these are all done, I'm going to go ahead and set them on a wire rack and a sheet pan in my fridge for a little bit while I work the sauce. For the sauce, we're going to start off with about 2 tablespoons of butter in a pot. Going to heat that up. Then you want to use about 1 to 2 cups max of some Frank's Red Hot sauce. You can use whatever hot sauce you want. Then after that's been cooking a little bit at medium heat, I'm going to add in some black pepper. I like to use a lot of black pepper, so go with about 2 tablespoons. Then a tablespoon of some honey. That's completely optional, but it does help. Then I'm going to cook this for a little bit, let it cool down, and drop it into my blender. Now, for this sauce, I'm going to use a Scotch bonnet. We're going to start with 1. See how hot it gets. Add a little bit more Frank's Red Hot for some body on that. And then we're going to add in some red food coloring. That is completely optional, just a few drops. Give it a nice blend. Give it a taste. If it's at the heat level you want, keep it. But I wanted another Scotch bonnet, so I did. And I added about 6 cloves of garlic. I would actually say like 10, to be honest. It was a lot of garlic. Then give it a nice blend. Set it aside. And we're going to go ahead and work with our pan here. So I've got a pan with some peanut oil here, which I am going to safely fry my turkey breasts in. So be very mindful of your oil level, people, especially if you have a gas stove. Give them a nice flip throughout the process. We'll flip them a few times just to make sure they get nice and brown on all sides before we put them into the sauce. It doesn't take too long, but you want to make sure they're fully cooked. So check their internal temperature, make sure they're fully cooked, because you don't want to eat anything that's raw when it comes to a bird, for sure, of most animals. And then, so we're going to go ahead and toss it in that sauce, well coat it on all sides. And I also have my oven still at 350. I have already removed the stuffing by now, but I want to go ahead and melt some Munster cheese on these turkey breasts. So you can use whatever type of cheese you want. They're on a wire rack. I'm going to pop them in there. Doesn't take long. Just melt it down, maybe about 5 minutes, and then we're ready to plate. So onto a toasted brioche bun, I'm going to add our sauce first at the bottom. So going to go ahead and add some of that extra reserve sauce that we had. Then I'm going to drop in our turkey breast here. And I'm doing this on purpose. I'm going to put the stuffing on top of the cheese because the cheese is still melted. So it's going to help hold some of that stuffing there. So drop in the stuffing, and let's also add in some sliced red onions. And then I'm going to come through with some awesome arugula. This is completely optional, but I feel like the arugula really helped lift the sandwich. And then I'm going to go ahead and come through with our vodka cranberry sauce. And I got to say, people, this one was awesome. So we're ready to eat.
All right, and we are all done. I have to say, this looks so damn good. I gotta try it. And honestly, I think this is gonna upgrade your Thanksgiving. So, here we go. Let's give this a nice try, which I've already taken a bite, by the way. It's insanely good. Wow. Wow. If I could have Thanksgiving like this every year, oh, I don't know what I would ask for. This is so damn good. It's not too hot. It is so freaking good, people. I gotta say, like, please try this recipe out, because you will not regret it. And I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna eat this, and yeah, cheers. I'm out.